Hello and welcome to this James the Bike Guy, where today we're checking out Salsa's War Road. This is what a company with the tagline of Adventure by Bike does when they think they want to build a road bike. It's lightweight, it's fast, but it kind of has more to do with a gravel performance bike than it does necessarily an all-out road bike, and that's something that I absolutely love about it. So we're going to go into the features and designs of this really unique bike from Salsa, and then we'll find out exactly what it weighs. Talking Salsa War Road. Now, the War Road has been in Salsa's lineup for a little while now, and it's their take on an endurance to performance style road bike. And by that, I mean, as you can see here, it's coming with some deep dish carbon wheels, some 32 millimeter tires, which is narrow for a company that's really known for their adventure bikes and their unique platforms that slot in where holes are missing in the marketplace. And because of Salsa's history, this War Road is almost exactly what you would expect out of a brand that's so well known for those really unique bikes. Now, this particular War Road does feature their carbon frame, so it's a really beautiful carbon frame with this metallic yellow going into a bronzish gold. Really a stunner in my opinion. And it has a bunch of features that are going to make it really road-oriented. First piece would be this bike is running what they call their Class 5 VRS, or their vibration reduction system. Now, what that means is these chainstays are bowed out almost in a wishbone-style shape, which allows the rear end to widen a little bit when you hit a bump. This will actually spread open a little, absorbing the vibration going up to the back end of the bike, which is running a standard 27-2 seat post. This being the Ultegra variant, does have a carbon seat post in there for a little extra comfort. You do have a press fit bottom bracket, which is a pretty chunky bottom bracket, and the chainstays going out to the back wheel have lots of thickness to them as well, which is allowing for some real strong stiffness and snappiness out of the back end. While up front, the control is placed via this Warroad Carbon Deluxe fork. The carbon fork is going to run their triplicate mounts on the side of the fork, which allows you to put on bags to the front. You can even run fenders on this. It is a 12 by 100 millimeter through axle up front and 12 by 142 millimeter out back, along with the flat mount disc brakes. But the frame does feature an arrow-shaped down tube, which has this triangular type shape with a truncated rear portion of the airfoil. And the same thing's happening with the seat. It's also rounded towards the front and flattens out to the back for a little bit of aero performance out of the bike. Now, Salsa is not claiming that this is an aero bike, and it certainly isn't, but it's nice to have those small features to help save where you can. Now, one of the places that this bike really gets adventuresome is going to be in its tire clearance and setup. The bike is coming with a 700 by 32 millimeter Terravale Rampart tire, and this tire is tubeless ready, mounted up on those Whiskey 50 millimeter deep wheels. But you can run up to a 700 by 35 millimeter tire on the bike, or more importantly, this is a dual wheel size bike, meaning that you can run this with 650 wheels. Now, that smaller wheel diameter also allows you to put in up to a 47 millimeter wide tire, which is just absolutely unheard of in a performance or endurance bike, especially to be able to have the ability to convert from a really fast road wheel set like we have here to that gravel 650 by 47 millimeter setup. Now, the bike does come in several formats, but the version we're looking at is the Ultegra Di2, which clocks in at $76.99. So it is a pretty penny for this bike, but you do get hydraulic disc brakes clamping down on 2 piston calipers on the front and the rear. And then in back, you've got Shimano's Ultegra Di2 drivetrain. This is a double up front and 12 speeds out back via an electronic shifting rear derailleur. So the derailleur itself is going to shift electronically. You can see it move. It's got the little robots happening to make everything go between the gears. And the real benefit with a Di2 system like this is that once it's set up and adjusted properly, it's going to hold the shift for a super long time. The other place is that front derailleur is so strong and powerful that with a Di2 system, in a lot of cases, even though you shouldn't, you can shift under load, especially when climbing. And so that's really neat to be added into this bike, really adding to that kind of super bike version of the Warroad. Now, moving on from that, we've got mounts galore because it is a Salsa. So you've got a upper water bottle mount, lower water mount. You've got a seat tube water bottle mount. You've got another mount underneath the down tube, and up top on the top tube, you're going to have a mount for a bag up top. And really neat, in the back end of the bike, we can run fenders just like you can up front, but it is rack compatible. So this mount down here is not just a fender mount. It allows for carrying weight, and all you have to do is replace out the Salsa clamp up top with their clamp with two little eyelets, and you can add a rear rack to add even more adventuring to the bike. And coming from a company that is focused on adventuring, they're also focused on the ability to make this bike even more useful. And you'll see it's got an internal port that's not being used in the fork, and that's because that's allowing, if you were to run a dynamo up front, be able to get electric power coming up. You can do internally, comes out here. And also with it being Di2 means that the shifters don't have a cable going to the back. The battery and receiver is in the rear. So that means you've got a couple of open holes in the frame where the internal cable routing used to go. But it's important to note that the internal cable routing is sleeved, meaning that inside of there, there's a tube that goes all the way through, making the replacement of internal cable routing, if that's what you had on this bike, incredibly easy to do. Because you're not fishing anything, you're literally just sliding the cable and housing through the tube. So now that we've taken a look at the features and designs of this Salsa War Road, I think it's time we find out what it weighs. The actual weight of the Salsa War Road in a size 57 comes in and weighs 18.66 pounds. Thanks for joining me to check out the Salsa War Road. This is a really unique and interesting bike that I've been pleased to be able to get a chance to check out. I very rarely see these, but when I do, I'm always reminded that, man, is this a cool bike. Really one choice to do it all, especially if you get two wheel sets. So go ahead and follow the channel, hit subscribe, and browse my other videos to see cool bikes like this to check out as well.